You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. But let's start at the front of the machine itself, what we're actually going to get with the features. So the first thing I've noticing, this thing even has a coin mechanism in the inside. So yep, if you want to have like the 100% authentic feeling, you can put a coin in it. And I think that's very cool. Something I personally don't have with my personal machine. So if you want to put in coin operation, I think it seems to be working in combination with the emulation software. Okay, so next up at the left we're going to get all of the buttons. They're high quality micro switch buttons for navigating through the menu. And I must say that if you need to replace them, you can do that fairly easy on the inside. Next up, we're going to get ourselves a real plunger. The plunger itself is one of the things I also own, and I can tell you this is absolutely a very cool and accurate way to play. This is absolutely great. It's a different upgraded version of the previous one I owned myself, and what you're actually going to get is a real authentic plunger experience when playing actually the virtual pinball games. And I can tell you, it reacts absolutely one-on-one, and I think without the plunger, it's still a different experience. But how is it with the pinball gameplay itself? So where this thing is absolutely fast, and also where we're going to take a close look at the specs of this thing. So when it comes to the left and right switches, this is not micro switched. Nope, this is actually going to be leaf switches. It's the same that you can find in an authentic pinball machine. I also own these like switches, and I can tell you they feel absolutely amazing. Combination with the emulation, we do have a way better experience. Then let's take a close look at the 17-inch stopper. The topper, I must say that, yeah, it's a cool experience, but you're not going to be looking at it much. It's more for the people who are being surrounding you, and it do have some very cool animations with some pinball machines. But is this something I personally miss on my machine? No, not really. The 16-inch DMD LCD is way bigger than the one I'm having in my own machine. But the difference is that when it comes to the new generation of software, we're going to get a difference with a lot of cool animations and of course an old school DMD. I think it's a very cool new way introduction and absolutely a great addition. And every single pinball machine will have their own DMD in combination with some amazing videos. The 32-inch display that is inside the back box will give you different kind of features. First of all, we have this very cool animation with the retro flare table. But when you're looking at other games, think about the Handhelds family. We're going to get a custom made that even implements the scenes of the old movies. But if you don't really like that, there are old school tables out there on the machine that are able to be played. And we're just going to get yourself just a single picture, like the old school pinball machines itself. But how about the main display? In my opinion, the most interesting and most important one, because this is actually where the game will be played. It's a 49-inch display, high quality, and with a great viewing angle. And that is one of the things that is very important. And what they're doing with these, let's say, tables, we have a certain angle to give it a little bit more of a pinball different experience. Also depending what kind of table you're virtually playing with it. But I can tell you, putting this on different angles, this thing looks absolutely amazing. And if you're going to be in front of it or next to it, it doesn't matter. We do have a perfect viewing angle. And that is one of the first important key elements. And 49 inches, I can tell you, this table is looking amazing. And it is absolutely huge. But let's tear down the machine. First of all, what you can do is remove the lock bar like with an original old school pinball machine. Next up, the mechanism is absolutely made of very nice quality. But the next thing we need to do is remove the side panels, and with this we can remove the glass that is on top of the 49-inch display. The 49-inch display can be flipped open. There is no, let's say, special mechanism in the inside, so you need to stick something between it to keep it open, or just remove the display if you need to do some maintenance. Maybe that would be something they can improve in the next version. But beside that, there is a lot of new electronic parts in the inside, so let's do a quick tour and explain what it is. So first of all, here we're going to get two amplifiers for the internal surround set. And what you're going to get with the internal surround set, you can hear where the ball is rolling. But here we're going to get ourselves the tiny speakers that will be implemented over the internal machine, giving you the surround effect. And then of course a third amplifier that will power on the external audio, including the huge subwoofer. But let's take a close look at the back of the machine and open up the bottom door. Simply because there we're going to find a lot of, let's say, cool things. First of all, if you're going to be opening up, there's a lot of new components that we didn't see before. So what you're going to get, let's talk about the special motor. This is a motor that has been implemented and combined with a special switch where we can adjust the strength of the motor itself. But what is kind of cool, if you're going to be adjusted perfectly, we're going to have a very cool experience. For example, if you're going to play the Harry Potter game, when the ball is hitting the special mixer over there, then we're going to experience an extra rumble. And that's very cool to experience this because it gives a new dimension to the overall gameplay. Beside the vibrator motor, we're also going to get ourselves a gear motor. And the gear motor is especially needed for certain tables that have certain movements, for example with Star Trek. One of the other cool features are solenoids. Solenoids will give an extra dimension to the virtual pinball experience. I don't own them, I would love to have them in my own machine. This is a complete board that will also give the signal and give the power to the solenoids. They're using tiny ones over here and that's an amazing sound effect. Just listen to it. It's not overkill, but it sounds just great. But when you're looking at the emulation and the LEDs, there is even a special PCB inside the machine for this that communicates between two of them. And it's absolutely nuts. Underneath the machine we will find like surrounding LED RGB strips. And they are quite bright, to the point that they look amazing. When it's pitch dark, this thing is absolutely one huge RGB festival. Like everything looks crazy. I'm not the biggest fan of the LEDs on top of the LCD playing field, but it's more a personal opinion about it. But beside that, when you're looking at it, the way how you're going to be navigating through the systems, this is absolutely crazy. Everything changes to a certain color. This all thanks to the PCB inside of the machine that communicates between the tables or the software and the RGB. Nevertheless, when you're looking at the four very bright LEDs, it's a very cool extra gimmick. Firstly, it's not one of the things I would add to my personal machine. But then again, like if you don't like them, you can shut it all off. But last but not least, we're also going to get yourself an original tilt mechanism inside the cabinet itself. And if you're going to be nudging it a little bit too hard, yep, the nudging also works. We're going to get ourselves the tilt, and every single, so far I understand, machine has been configured with this. So it just emulates the perfect experience. Because it's absolutely possible to nudge the ball like an original machine. And do it too hard, the tilt will go crazy. But when it comes to the games and everything you can play on this, it's absolutely huge. There are over 700 different tables you can just download and just play on the machine like this. From the old school Pinball FX games, you can also just play future Pinball, but the best experience in my opinion is the VPX. VPX has also so many cool 4K tables that are almost realistic. Where my old menu was very dull and simple, they're going to implement more animations into the menu itself. When loading this, like say different kind of tables in, is absolutely nuts and very cool additions to the pinball machine. But scrolling through the list, over several hundred tables you can play with this machine. It feels endless to be honest. But in the end, when you're going to look into the games itself, there will always be a certain amount of games that you love to play. You can make yourself a global favorite or like a VPX extended favorite list. I love it. Most of the time I just spend hours playing these, searching my old school favorite ones and just play my favorite tables.
Here's another ball.
But one thing is for sure, you need to have a very beefy PC in combination with a very powerful CPU or an Nvidia RTX GPU. Nevertheless, this is what we're also going to find in the machine if you just want to play all of these pinball machines on 4K resolution. Where virtual can never replace an original pinball machine. When you're going to pay maybe triple the price that we did back in the days. The new additions of all cool new features are absolutely great and gives this virtual pinball just their own way to play. In combination with all of the new features, I think it's a lot of fun experiencing this But let me know in the comments, what do you think of virtual pinball? Do you think it's really worth it? Check out the Customer Cage website if you want to have more information, or his YouTube channel. It will be great to see you in the next video, so consider subscribing to our channels, and I will see you in the next video.